Good evening, my friends from Kenya, from Zimbabwe, from Nigeria, from Ghana, from Zanzibar, and from Canada. At least those are the people who assured me. You're from?
Kenya.
Oh, Kenya. Thank you so much. I said Kenya. I started with Kenya. Thank you so much. You are all invited to the session today. This is the 5th lesson, and we are going to share success stories. Yeah, it is all about what is happening and what good stories can we tell that have happened from the institutions probably that are called the ESD model centers, or the countries that are doing well in ESD. What are the good stories that we can tell and we can learn from? So before we get into the nitty-gritty of our learning session today, let me request Catherine to pray for us. Catherine, please pray for us.
Thank you. Let us pray. Lord Jesus Christ, we come before you this evening because of your love. We thank you. You've taken care of us, Lord. We honor and glorify your name. We come before you, Lord, committing each and everyone who is attending this meeting. Give us the understanding of all that we are going to learn. Even our lecturers, we commit them unto thy hand, and more so, Dr. Christine, we commit her unto thy hand. We pray that you may continue blessing her as she continue inducting us each and every weekend. We thank you, Lord, because it is out of love. It is not for nothing, but for us to benefit and also benefit our learners and our teachers. Lord, may you continue enriching our knowledge. May you continue adding us wisdom that we may continue doing your will as teachers and as principals. For this I pray, believing and trusting in Jesus' name.
Amen.
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 Amen. Thank you so much. Thank you, Catherine, for that wonderful prayer. And today we are in our 5th lesson. I don't want to break the lesson into 2. I want to first request for your permission. If I have not finished, can you allow me at least 10, 15 minutes to finish? Instead of just breaking the lesson into 2?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for that, yes. Thank you for that, yes. So today we are going to talk about successful ESD initiatives. Catherine, are you familiar with the Zoom so that I can make you my co-host? Dr. Nduku?
Not really. I'm getting assisted every now and then.
Okay, Dr. Nduku, I have seen you in the meeting. Welcome. Please say hi. I will make you my co-host so that in case of anything, you remain there entertaining people as I come back, because I've realized anything can happen. You are all welcome.
All right.
Awesome.
So
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So I have called this platform Edu Growth Learning, rather Edu Growth for Sustainable Development online learning platform. Okay, so it is learning for all. Everybody is invited because education for sustainable development is a way of life. It is the best way of life that will enable us really live well as human beings. And so I want to welcome you to the 5th lesson. Those who missed the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th lessons. The 4th lesson was in 2 parts, part 1 and part 2. Kindly make sure you listen to both parts. You will always get my the sessions on my YouTube channel. I did that intentionally because I don't want to leave anyone behind. Because we are talking about sustainability. We are talking about behavior change. And if at all we have to lead a life that is sustainable, then we have to purpose to change the way we do things. And that is why we have said that ESD can transform the world. ESD cannot transform the world if we ourselves are not transformed. So I will always start with this flag, sustainable change. Motivate yourself, connect with feeling and identity, make the effort, whether small or big, support, train others, and encourage a growth mindset. Always, wherever you are, motivate yourself and motivate others, because our learning is not just for us, it is for us and the people that we are leading and the people that are with us. To be able to do that, we need to get a clear direction, engage the rational mind, amplify what's working, explain why and what specific actions are needed. That is very, very important. In whatever you are doing, the small steps that you are making, always whatever is happening and is successful, make it big. That is why we have this session to just talk about success stories. And then always shape the path, improve the physical environment, and in the process, engage champions, the people who are passionate about what you are doing, what you love, people who are passionate about transformation, people who are passionate about creating an impact. Walk the path with them, leverage useful habits and systems. Take advantage of this online session that is free for all, yeah? And even as we go ahead, I will always add you mantras and mantras. That is why I started, the registration sheet has a column for you to put your mantra. My mantra is going beyond the obvious. And now, what is yours? What statement do you lean on to do the things that you're doing? So the first training, the first session, I introduced you to MAD. Who can remind me, what does MAD mean? Anybody, just open your mic and shout it out.
Make a difference.
Awesome, thank you, Sarah. GBO.
Make a difference.
Awesome, GBO.
Go beyond the obvious. Go beyond the obvious.
Awesome, GLGL.
Go beyond the obvious.
Awesome.
love.
Give love, get love. And last Sunday, we talked about
Give love and
L.
get love.
Triple L means lifelong learner, lifelong learner, okay? Lil is the new one that I'm giving you today. Lil means learn, inspire, lead. Learn, inspire, lead. If you have to be an effective leader, you need to purpose to continue learning. And even as you learn, purpose to inspire others. You don't just lead without inspiring. If you want people to do things right, you need to inspire them at all the time. Inspire, 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 and inspire. And so those who don't know me, my name is Christine Obaigwa Owinyi. I like putting all my three names there. Obaigwa is my dad. I don't want to lose that name. I love it so much. Owinyi is my husband. So the two, they're not competing, but I love them. They are all there. So of course I have a PhD in education, management, and policy studies. And last year in December, I received an honorary doctorate degree from the Commonwealth University. And so that is why I will always write my title like that. Yeah, you too can be the next one to get a title like what I received miraculously. And as we get into what we are learning, I want you to always remember to involve the 3H, the head, the heart, and the hands. So always have your head there. Head means acquiring knowledge. accepting what you are learning, put it in the head, become knowledgeable, go to school, add to whatever you already have. Don't say that my first degree is enough, or whatever the certificate I've received is enough. If you have the ability to continue learning, continue learning. And take advantage of sessions that are subsidized, sessions that are free, like this one. And just have the information, learn, because knowledge is power. And when you have it in your head, don't just leave it there, bring it down to the heart. Be passionate about what you know. Enjoy the process of the information that you have in your head, so that this passion will push you to do something with the hands, implementation. So don't just keep it in the head. You have to bring it down to the hands through the heart. So passion, grit is very, very important. So always remember the 3H: head, heart, and hands. This is something I picked yesterday when somebody was asking me, why are you giving free sessions? Yeah, who is paying for those sessions? I mean, somebody was challenging me and telling me, no, what you're doing is not right. Well, I know what I'm doing is right, because you have not lived today until you have done something for someone who can never repay you. Of course, this is my intellectual property. I am giving it free to you. I'm giving it free to my people, because I believe by giving it free, even that person who cannot afford to pay for it will get it and make use of it. So I'm giving you this free of charge, because I believe I will have a ripple effect. You will learn, and you will be able to teach others about what you have learned. So it is not useless for me to give this for free, because this really gives me a lot of joy. In Canada, you cannot get a job if you've not done any voluntary work. So that tells you that we must always be ready to be volunteers. Always volunteer your intellectual property, volunteer your services, volunteer wherever you can volunteer your talents for the better of others. And so today we are going to talk about successful ESD initiatives that serve as models for sustainable education practices. These initiatives demonstrate the transformative power of ESD in addressing environmental, social, and economic challenges. This is something that I want you to always have on your fingertips, that when we are talking about education for sustainable development, we must always think about the 3 spheres of sustainability together: the environmental, the social, and the economic sphere. As much as we have challenges that we can label economic challenges, social challenges, environmental challenges, when you are offering a solution to that challenge, you must always bring on board the 3 spheres of sustainability. And so get ready to be inspired. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yes, we are.
Thank you.
Yes, we are.
Thank you
Yes,
so
we
much.
are.
Okay, I will always be resharing the link for
Yes,
registration.
we are.
Thank you. Good. So it's not for no reason that I'm always inviting you to come and learn, come and learn, come and learn, because sharing is inspiring and sharing is caring. Whatever talent that you have, whatever gift that you have, we need to use our gifts. Yeah? If you look at Matthew 25 from verse 14 to 15, you will learn that each one of us has got a talent. I realized I have a talent in facilitating learning. And so if I keep this talent to myself, it will not help me. Since I left Kenya, where I was a national facilitator of learning, I don't have those opportunities of going to train from one center to another as a national facilitator. And so God gave me this idea of sharing my gifts online. And I thank God because you are there to learn with me. Because with that, I'll be able to increase my greatness and God will comfort me on every side. That can also apply to you, that God can increase your greatness and he will comfort you on every side. The longer you have to wait for something, the more you will appreciate it when it finally arrives. All good things are worth waiting. So the success stories that we are going to share today, somebody started it with one step, waited for some time before finally we can say that this is a success story. And even as we talk about the success stories, it is important to talk about this tree. As you grow, you will either be on the dark side or on the green side. I want to encourage you, when you get these slides, when you get this presentation, when you get to this slide, pause and just look at everything that is on the negative energy. Try as much as possible to destroy it from your life and look at what is on the side of positive energy and try as much as possible to embrace it. These are virtues that we need to embrace so that we can live well on earth. Forgiving others, being honesty, love, getting motivated, motivating others, being grateful, being passionate, being inspired, being loyal, being selfless, being proactive, being kind, being creative, being responsible, being confident, being supportive, being jovial all the time, and being efficient, being calm is very, very important. And that is why I like what Vex King says, that the reason why some people are so kind is because the world has been so unkind to them that they don't want other people to feel the way they did. So when somebody was challenging me about why I'm giving this for free, I remembered circumstances where I had to really suffer because of one or two things. Somebody didn't want me to get the opportunity to learn, but somehow God made a way and I was able to learn. And if God made a way for me to get it free from someone else, why then can't I give it free to everyone who deserves it? And so that is why I am doing that. So before we get into what the success stories in our country, in Kenya, so to say, the people from Ghana, I don't know if you will be free to share with us your success stories. Yvonne from Zanzibar was to join us, but she is bereaved. I believe she will follow us, even as she's done with the burial of her loved one, and she'll be able to share with us what they are doing in Zanzibar. I just picked these three nations: USA, Jordan, and Philippines. In the USA, there is a project that is called Project Green Schools. Project Green Schools promotes environmental education and sustainability initiatives in schools across the United States. Is it something that we can borrow as a country? For example, Kenya. Is it something that you can borrow as a country? Zimbabwe, Zanzibar, Ghana? Yeah, because this has improved the school environment. It has reduced carbon footprint and empowered students as environmental stewards. Remember last Sunday, we were talking about having our students become environmental stewards. In Jordan, there is what they call greening the desert. Greening the Desert project focuses on sustainable agriculture and desert reclamation techniques in arid regions. How has it made an impact? It has revived the ecosystems, increased food security, and empowered local communities. So that is a project that is cutting across the whole country. If you go to the Philippines, we have Trash for Education. Trash for Education initiative encourages recycling of waste management practices in schools, offering educational resources in exchange for recyclable materials. And how has it impacted the whole country? It has reduced waste pollution. It has raised awareness on environmental issues and supported education initiatives. So if we pick on something that we can do as a country and remain loyal to it, then everybody picks it up, becomes our culture. Then other nationalities will be learning from our countries and labeling it. Like in Kenya, there is this. For example, the Kenya Education Management Institute initiated the ESD model centers. NATCOM has initiated ASPINET centers. I don't know what other organizations have initiated. If we could pick on one thing and run with it as a country, then we will be known to have made an impact in one way or another. Before I came to Canada, during the COVID season, I started a campaign with the ESD kids, Kids for SDGs, and we were talking about pick up trash. It is a pick up trash campaign where we were encouraging everybody, where you are walking, if you meet trash, please just pick it up. And after picking it up, put it in the right bin. So if every school can embrace that, if every school can embrace that, and let me mute everyone. If every school can embrace, for example, the pick up trash campaign and have every child, every adult become responsible about their environment by just picking up the trash and putting it in the right bin. If it is in the right bin, the bin of recyclables, then that can be recycled and get something else out of it. If it is green, for example, if it is green waste, that can be recycled into organic manure, which we can use in our gardens to ensure that we are taking care of our soil. And that is why I will always define what education for sustainable development is for the sake of those who are coming into our learning sessions for the first time. Education for sustainable development is education that aims to empower and equip current and future generations to meet their needs using a balanced and integrated approach to economic, social, and environmental dimensions of sustainable development. That is according to UNESCO 2018. In simple terms, what are we saying? We are saying that education for sustainable development is education that enables us to meet our needs today without compromising the ability of the future generation to meet their own needs. And even as we talk about ESD, we must always put in mind the 3 dimensions of sustainable development: the economic, the social, and the environmental. And for you to do that, it is important to employ the educate and act learning framework. Seeking knowledge is very, very important. What we are doing on this platform today, we are simply seeking knowledge. After getting the knowledge, demonstrate creativity. Be creative about what you have gathered. Develop media and visual literacy skills. Try to use technology in the process of becoming creative. Connect learning to community issues, because we are not learning for the sake of it. We are learning so that we can participate in supporting the community resolve its challenges. Apply knowledge to real-world situations. The beauty about ESD, it is about solving real-life challenges. Display leadership and confidence. The moment you have the knowledge, the moment you have the information, somebody said that knowledge is power. And when you are knowledgeable, you are powerful. And remember, as I've always said, knowledge is non-rivalry. So if you have the knowledge and you are able to confidently demonstrate creativity with what you know, developing media and visual literacy skills, connecting learning to community issues, and applying this to real life situations, then you become a leader who is confident and sure of what they are saying and what they are doing. Collaborate and exchange ideas. Don't just do it on your own. Meet people. Get a way of having people on board so that you can share and exchange ideas as much as you can. Plan and market events, very, very important, because ESG must always have the economic aspect of it, yeah? Either you are saving on costs or you are using what you have done to make money. That is really very, very important. And then organize and present information. That is where now the part of sharing comes in. That always, after you have done all this, remember to share your success story. Because from your success story, somebody else will be inspired and they too can try the same thing or use your idea to solve their own challenges. And so it is about educate and act. Don't just educate and do it. And that is why I received the honorary doctorate degree. It's because I don't just train, I don't just facilitate learning. I go out and do what I tell others to do. Remember, it is about a journey to success. And a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Start with what you have. Start where you are and take the first step, because success starts with a single step. It only takes one kind action to create a ripple effect. Just one. And that kind action could be your action, it could be my action. You never know how far that will go. Now the story begins. Those who know my face can identify where I am. I'm seated there. These are facilitators from Israel who came to Kenya when I joined KEMI. The very first time I joined KEMI, they usually come to Kenya to build the capacity of national trainers. And that is why facilitators who are at that level will always do things differently. So this is Judith Rosenthal from Israel, taking us through education for sustainable development. You can see the way we are all keen and listening. It didn't just stop there. It could be all of us or some of us or one person who picked it and ran with it. So from what Judith and the team were giving us, today we have ESD running strongly in the country. In the meeting, we had the ambassador joining us to learn with us. The ambassador of Israel was not on a higher platform than the rest of us. We were all in a circle. Next to the ambassador of Israel was then Leah Rotich, the Director General of Basic Education in the Ministry of Education. She was there with us, learning with us. Next to her was Madam Eunice, who was the board of governors, the council member, the leader, the chair of the council of Kemi. She was there learning with us. The person third after her is the CEO, was the CEO of Kemi then, Dr. Wanjiru Kariuki. So what am I saying? When we are talking about education for sustainable development, we don't have titles. It is about everybody learning what can benefit us today and benefit the society tomorrow. And here, this is now the CEO of Kemi currently, Dr. Maurice Odondo. By then, he was the deputy director, receiving a certificate as a trainer of trainers for education for sustainable development in Kenya. This was in July 2015. I participated in this forum and I also received the same certificate. So he receives it from the ambassador. You can see me. I was always at the front line then, just to learn, because I really wanted to know this thing that the Israelites are bringing to Kenya. And that is the team that we call the Mashav alumni, because of what Israel did in Kenya at the Institute. The Mashav alumni is a big group now in Kenya, those that have been taken through different courses by the Israelites in Kenya and out of Kenya. When they come to Kenya, you will learn with them, and then they will also give you an opportunity to go to Israel and learn from there with them. So in 2016, after this meeting, they identified me and I went to Israel to learn with them. When I came back, we started training learning institutions about education for sustainable development. This was our first training on ESD, where we brought 13 learning institutions across the country to start the ESD model centers. So the first cohort of ESD model centers was initiated in 2018. So between 2016 and 2018, Kemi was still establishing its ESD training model center. And by then I was now the lead, yeah? So the second cohort of champions, that is ESD model centers, was conducted in 2019. I want you to see the trend here. In the first, before the first session, I showed you there was the ambassador. In this session, now there is the Deputy Ambassador, David Eyar, who came to preside over the closing session. Next to him is the Deputy Director. Next to the Deputy Director is the Director then, Madam Grace Ngasha. So what am I saying here? Leadership really matters. If at all you have to succeed in education for sustainable development, it's not going to take one teacher or one person. It has to take everybody. When everybody is in it, then you are going to be successful. During this time, we received a donation from the Ministry of Environment. They gave us these t-shirts that we printed at the back, ESD transforming the world. And that is the mantra that we are running with up to now, that ESD can transform the world. So this was the second cohort. You can see learning happening outside and inside the classroom. During that time, Kemi donated this greenhouse to us. No, not Kemi, the Israel Embassy. What the Israel Embassy does, it teaches you how to fish, but not to give you fish. And that is what I am doing. I don't have money, silver or gold have I none, but what I have is what I give to you. I mean, I will give you the information. I will give you the knowledge. I don't have the money to give you, but I will give you the knowledge to go and use so that you have the skill of fishing. So when they donated and trained us how to use the greenhouse, this is what we did. Finally, you can see we have the tomatoes, and the greenhouse, if it has not been destroyed, it is still there. Several years since it was donated to Kemi. So that is about Israel and the success. When I picked ESD as the lead in the institute, I took it up and I became serious with it, and we started now training others, training Kemi staff, the new members who come to the institution. We had a time that we could train one another, and at this time we were talking about collaboration. Collaboration means collaborate more and compete less. It is a way of building a team where you don't have the spirit of competition, but rather the spirit of collaboration. And even as we go on, I want you to put in mind the top 10 skills for the successful 21st century worker. The 21st century worker, it's me and you. You have to think about these skills deeply. When you get to this slide again, I want to request that you pause and take time to read the notes that are under the 10 skills: leadership, critical thinking, communication, productivity and accountability, accessing, analyzing, and synthesizing information, entrepreneur, realism, adaptability, innovation, global citizenship, collaboration, and of course, I had already said leadership. These skills are very, very important if you have to be successful in implementing education for sustainable development. And as a leader, I want you to have the CEO mindset and make use of the 5P rule. The 5P rule, the first P stands for push yourself when everyone doubts you. Yeah, when I started the ESD movement in Kenya, people were like, will you really make it? Will you really make it? But I kept on pushing myself, and I saw the results. Pick yourself when you fall down. Many a times you will fall down. Many a times you will feel discouraged. Don't remain down. Pick up yourself. Yeah? Shake off the fear and start moving again. Promise yourself you will never give up. And that is why we are having this learning platform today. When I was leaving the country, my mentors from Israel were all worried, were asking me, now, Christine, you are leaving Kenya. Who is going to lead ESD? I mean, because they knew it is a promise I made to Israel. that I will reproduce. I will give others what they gave to me. And even when I came back to Kenya and connected with the Embassy of Israel in Kenya, they trusted me. At one point in 2018, they sent me to the United Kingdom in a Limud festival to go and talk about education for sustainable development and what Israel is doing in Africa. Can you imagine? Promise yourself you will never give up. It's not about who is looking at you, but what you think you are able to do. Do it with the whole of your strength. Prove yourself right at all times. When you know you're doing the right thing, do it. When I post learning on the WhatsApp walls, and it is a TPD wall, I know very well it is a TPD wall. TPD means Teacher Professional Development. Teacher Professional Development does not stop at the Teacher Service Commission. Teacher Professional Development does not stop at KEMI. Teacher Professional Development is lifelong learning. Any learning that can help a teacher to become a better teacher is teacher professional development. And that is why I keep insisting, please join the meeting and learn. Proud of who you are. I will always be proud because of what God has made me to be today. This is me training. I trained adults in person on ESD. I trained students. This is Mangu High School. I went to Mangu High School. I went to Alliance Girls. I went to remote schools. I went to small schools. I went to all schools of different calibers. And I was able to train, not to be paid. I want you to take note of that. I was not being paid for doing this. I did it voluntarily. Sometimes I could put fuel in my car and it is a weekend. I've just requested for an appointment to meet the ESD team in a group, in a school. I will drive myself there, spend that 5,000 shillings on fuel, drive myself back, and done voluntarily. A school that thought that they could reward me, of course, I accepted the envelope if it was there. But if it was not there, I didn't accept it. I gave back to the society. This is my home school. When I was coming to Canada, I realized I have not done anything to my home school. That is Munami, where I am married. I went there and talked to the principal and told him, I want to talk to the school. I want to talk to the students and teachers. And they gave me the opportunity to talk to all students in school. There were over 800 students and their teachers about education for sustainable development and general matters about education. I did that, and I did that with the whole of my heart. Yeah. And there, this is now me today. In Canada, I have joined a group of women who are making a difference in the community. Yesterday, we were preparing Valentine cards for people living with HIV/AIDS. So these cards that we prepared by hand, I told them it is important to use our hands instead of just buying the cards. So I am already doing something in Canada. Down here, I'm working with children of age 4 to 10 to 11, before school and after school program, yeah, where I take care of children before classes start at 9, and after classes have ended, for those parents who usually drop their children early to school and take them late after school is done. So in these schools, this is what I do. So the school where I am, we have this project of making mansions using Legos. These are just small blocks that you join together to make something. So this is a project that I've taken up, and I'm able to see the children become really very creative. You can see here, this is actually a child working. And this is my colleague, yeah? So we are not allowed to take pictures of students. That is why you cannot see them here. But we are working. I am working on ESD even where I am. So it is about creating a ripple effect. I have facilitated learning for over 5,000 educators in Kenya on education for sustainable development, including the vice chancellors of universities, their deputies, deans, directors of education, principals, education officers, name them. Because UNESCO entrusted me, they took me as an expert in ESD. And because of that, I got the opportunity to share what I'm sharing with you, with these very senior people in the country, hoping that they are doing something about the knowledge that they received. I have visited and trained at least 42 learning institutions, staff and students on ESD, including universities and schools in Kenya. I have visited 5 non-governmental institutions and facilitated the staff on ESD, visited 8 faith-based organizations, including churches, and facilitated learning on ESD. I've shared about ESD in 6 significant international summits outside Kenya, including Rwanda, South Africa, Tanzania, the United Kingdom, and Canada. I have now started this Edu Growth online learning platform where we have so far had over 40 sessions on ESD, in which we have facilitated learning for averagely 70 participants from different countries every Sunday for at least 2 hours. Why I'm talking about 40 is because immediately I came to Canada, we started a program with a friend who is well versed with financial matters, and we called it Denny Sawa. So Denny Sawa usually happens before this free program. Denny Sawa is done between 6 to 7, and then the general ESD learning starts at 7:30. So if you're interested to learn about how to manage your finances under economic sustainability, you can always join the program that usually happens between 6 and 7. But for that one, remember, it is not about me, because for me, I'm giving free because of what was done to me. Since I have brought on board somebody who is an expert in that line, we are requesting that people pay 200 shillings to learn every Sunday. So for that, you will register with 200 shillings, then you will be able to learn. But the lesson that we are having from 7:30 onwards, it is free. I have facilitated learning remotely for 6 higher learning institutions. While in Canada, I have been called to train people back in Kenya remotely for 30 minutes, 1 hour, what I am doing right now. So I am still making an impact despite the fact that I am out of the country. That means even you, if you're a high school principal, I can always facilitate learning remotely if you want me to do that. And so at the moment, I'm offering remote mentorship and coaching program for ESD champions and ESD model centers in Kenya. We have a great wall where we now have over 850 members who are ESD champions, and the ESD model centers are there. So if you want to join the group, you can side chat me after this so that you can join the group. Not only that, my family is part of my success story. they all have embraced education for sustainable development. On Friday, I usually work where my son learns. When I was leaving the before school program coming out, I saw my son stand next to the principal's office. I got so worried. So I went to ask him, what is happening here? Then he told me, my son is 10 years old. He told me, Mom, the principal called me to make an announcement. I mean, I was like, what? You, Joseph? That tells you what is happening, that even my children have taken it up. My daughter, wherever she is, she has showcased what Africa is when they have occasions to talk about culture. She freely talks about the culture in Kenya and many, many other things. So when we are talking about success stories, these 7 R's of ESD are very, very important. Forgive me today because I have a lot. I'll really want you to go to your breakout rooms after this and just share a bit about this. Then we will now see the pictures of what schools and other learning institutions have done in Kenya to promote education for sustainable development. So for you to come up with a story, it is important to start here. Making use of the 7 R's of ESD, that is refuse, reduce, reuse, repair, recycle, rethink, and reconnect. Why? We have to start with refuse. What is not good? Just say no to it. If you cannot say no to it completely, then reduce on it so that with time you can finally stop it. Yeah? Instead of throwing it away and it can be reused, make use of it again. Instead of throwing it away because you don't need it, there is somebody else who could want it. Can you repair it and give it out to the needy? Instead of throwing it away, can you just recycle it and have it in a new form so that you can use it to do something else? So before you throw it away, rethink. Can I reduce? Can I reuse? Can I repair? Can I recycle? Rethink. Can I refuse this? Very, very important. And the last R is reconnect. What can you reconnect with? You can reconnect with yourself. You can reconnect with the people around you. You can reconnect with the planet. Everything that God created under the earth, you can reconnect with God. So refusing unnecessary or harmful products and practices is the first step towards sustainability. Like I have said, refuse single-use plastics such as straws, bags, water bottles. You can refuse that. Refusing products with excessive packaging and those produced through unsustainable practices, just say no to it. It is not yours to take. Refusing to support industries or companies with poor environmental social records by refusing to buy what they have produced. Reduce in consuming whatever is not sustainable, because reducing consumption and waste is key to minimizing our environmental footprint. Reducing energy consumption by turning off lights and electronics when not in use. Reducing water usage by taking shorter showers and fixing leaks and making sure the tap is not leaking, and teaching this to the students. Reducing food wastage by planning meals, composting organic waste and donating surplus food. Reducing paper wastage by printing on both sides using small readable font sizes. Reusing items instead of discarding them helps conserve resources and reduce waste. Reusing shopping bags, containers, and bottles instead of using disposable ones. Very, 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 very important. reusing clothing and household items by donating or repurposing them. Very, very important. Reusing paper for note-taking or printing on both sides before recycling. That is reusing. What else can you reuse? Recycling materials allows them to be transformed into new products, conserving resources and reducing population. Remember, recycling is different from reusing. If you are reusing, you are using that item the way it is in a different way. But recycling, you will have to transform that item into a different thing altogether by forming a different concept out of it and making use of it. You can recycle paper, cardboard, glass, plastic, and metal containers through local recycling programs. You can recycle electronic waste, such as old computers, phones, and batteries at designated collection points. You can support an initiative to recycle organic waste into compost for soil enrichment. You can also repair. Repairing items instead of replacing them extends their lifespan and reduces waste. Repairing clothing, shoes, household appliances instead of discarding them when they break. You can repair and give out. Learning basic repair skills, very, very important. Let our children learn how to repair their clothes. Let them learn how to repair their shoes, or supporting local repair shops and initiatives is very, very important. And therefore, choosing products designed for durability and repairability over disposable ones is good for ESD. Choosing to repair relationships instead of having a rift all the time. Is it possible for you to bend low and just say, I am sorry? Is it possible for you to bend low and go and talk to the person who wronged you and tell them, I have forgiven you? Rethinking our habits, attitudes, and choices is essential for fostering a sustainable mindset. Rethinking transportation habits by carpooling. If you are coming from the same estate, instead of everybody going with their car to school, can we carpool and just use one car? Using public transit or opting for walking and recycling. I know of a city that does not allow people to have private cars. Rethinking dietary choices by reducing meat consumption and choosing locally sourced seasoned foods is very, very important for our health. Rethinking consumerism by prioritizing experiences and meaningful purchases over material possession. Don't just hoard. It is not, life is not a competition. I mean, just have what you need. Don't hoard, don't have so much that you don't even need. Sometimes I wonder why somebody builds a house of 60 rooms and yet they are living in 1, 2, 3 rooms. Why have that big mansion when somebody else in your neighborhood is sleeping in the streets, is not even having food? I mean, that is really something to rethink about. Reconnecting with nature, communities, ourselves, and God fosters a deep appreciation of sustainability. Reconnecting with nature through outdoor activities such as hiking, gardening, bird watching, and so on and so forth. Reconnecting with communities through volunteering, participating in local initiatives, and supporting small businesses. Reconnecting with ourselves through mindfulness practices, reflection, and self-care, which can inspire a more sustainable lifestyle, is very, very critical. Reconnecting with God through serving others. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and be kind to all that is in the planet Earth. That is all about reconnecting with God. By embracing the 7 R's of ESD and integrating them into our daily lives, we can contribute to a more sustainable and resilient future for all. Now, for the next 10 minutes, I want to take you to breakout rooms. If you find yourself in room number 1, yours is refuse. Room number 2, yours is reduce. Room number 3, yours is reuse. Room number 4, yours is recycle. Room number 5, yours is repair. Room number 6, yours is rethink. And room number 7, yours is reconnect. Anybody else in the other rooms, you can choose from any of the 7 what you want to discuss. So get to those rooms and talk about what you can reduce, for example, what you can reuse in a home setting scenario, in a school scenario, and so on and so forth. Are you ready to go to breakout rooms?
Yes.
I know this is not,
We are.
Today I am marathon. Yeah, today I'm marathon, don't worry. It's because I want to give you everything. I want to give you everything. So I'm creating, yeah. I've created 7 rooms. But have you understood?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
Yes, we have understood.
Okay. So after the breakout rooms, please don't go away. I want you to come back so that I show you the success stories, what schools have done in Kenya, so that you can get inspired even more. So you will be 8 to 9 participants in a group. Join your group and please go. Go to your group. Join your room. Just click join and go. 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 Peter and Jeru, please go to room 1. Caroline, please move to room 1. Caroline Wandere. Elizabeth, go to room 1. George, go to room 1. Foxa, go to room 1. Helen Kabuse, go to room 2. If you remain at the plenary, I want you to talk about reuse. Kindly start talking immediately. Kindly start talking immediately. Start talking immediately. Thank you. Winston, please go to room 7. Sarah, please go to room 5. So we are talking about refuse, reduce, reuse, recycle, repair, rethink, and reconnect. Jen Njeru, please go to room 4, sorry. Room 1, refuse. Room 2, reduce. Room 3, reuse. Room 4, recycle. Room 5, repair. Room 6, rethink. And room 7, reconnect. Rosemary, please go to room 6. Yeah, in case you have a challenge, just raise a signal so that I can come to your room. If you have a challenge, I can come to your room. Those that are in room, the plenary, you can always discuss. Chris, Evans, Gweyu, Jen Omoko, Janice Omoko. Since you're at the plenary, please talk about refuse. What can you refuse? Who can take lead? Who can be the leader here? Chris, can you be the leader? Unmute yourself. Let's unmute ourselves so that we can talk. Catherine is asking for notes. Yeah, of course I will share. I will share the video. I'll share the video, don't worry. ESD is mouthful. There is a lot in ESD. A lot in ESD. I don't understand why people don't want to come and just learn for free. Because it will not take long. When I become very busy, I'll not be able to help you. I'm just doing this because I have some window to just continue talking to us. Take advantage of this kindness for now so that you can learn. And it is not always that I will share the recording to the public. Now that we have started registering, I will only share the recording to the people who have registered. So make sure you register yourself. You put your WhatsApp number so that I can send the recording directly to you. When you get the invite, please don't join the meeting alone. Join with your friends, join with your colleagues, join with your students. You can even have one projector and just project. Let them learn with you. Because education for sustainable development is not owned by anyone. It is for us all. Education for sustainable development is for us all. So please invite your colleagues, invite everyone, let them come and learn. Come and learn, and let people start doing things that are making a difference in their lives and in the lives of others. So I will pick on any room to share with us what they will have covered. Peter, your hand is up. You're in the main session. You don't have a mic. I don't know how to help you. Peter? Oh, TechnoKit. Peter, you got a number here without mics. Maybe I will take you through a session on how to join the meeting. I will do it and share to the public so that you don't miss out next time. It is important to reconnect with the Creator. Whether you are Christian or not, whether you are Muslim, you are Hindu, there is some supernatural being that you probably believe in when it comes to creation or your being. It is important to reconnect to that supernatural being. It is important. So Ro in room 6 is asking for help. Let me go to room 6. Hello, Ro, you're in room 6 and you ask for assistance. How can I help you?
Yes, Daktari. We were in the process of our discussions. And when you talk, when you are speaking at on the background, we are getting you on this other end.
Oh.
So like we're not getting each other clearly.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know that.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, thank you.
All right.
Okay. Okay. Let me add you 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. You have 2 more minutes. Joseph, Helen, Janice, Evans, Chris, you didn't join the breakout rooms? Just wait there. The others are almost coming back.
Hello? That's how I look at it.
We are back to the plenary.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, thank you very much. Welcome back to the plenary.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we start
Thank
with
you, Dr. We are back.
Selina, you are in which room? Antonina, you are in which room?
I was in room 6.
Yeah, please, what were you sharing? Rethink? What did you say about rethinking? Unmute yourself.
We've talked about rethinking about time wastage by engaging the learners in artwork. Sewing the beads or any art craft work that can develop their skills during free times. We also talk about rethinking the use of items that are not there, like providing crayon, making them available locally instead of buying. We also talked about rethinking of the attitude. For example, in most institutions, especially high schools, students believe that they have negative attitude towards some subject like mathematics. And so we also say that we can find a way we rethink about that attitude and encourage them so that they develop positive attitude towards those subjects they believe are difficult. I think that's what I got. Maybe somebody from room 6 can assist further.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. So that was good about rethink. Because of time, we will not go into having others coming in. Let me go to room 1. George, I saw you talking. What did you discuss?
Thank you, Dr. In room 1, we were specifically looking at refuse. And refuse 1, we learned that it is a directive, a decisive kind of measure. In that we were looking at aspects that the students within the class can look at, like things to do with the drug abuse. The students can refuse and object not to maybe be party to issues to do with drug abuse. Then we're also looking at issues of bullying in schools, where you realize that some students are bullied. The students can also, and the teachers can refuse. So we were trying to look at it in a way that refuse is majorly trying to shun negative things that take place within the institutions. Maybe any other person, Rose can help me. We were also with her in room 1. Or
Maybe
Catherine,
you can, Rose can, okay, the rest of you can use the chat. Those of room 6 and room 1, if there is something that has not been shared, please use the chat. Rose Muhia, you were in room 2, and I heard you speaking, yeah?
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Ours was on reduce, and we've been able to categorize it into 4 under social, political, economic, and spiritual. So under social, we touched on health, that we need to reduce on consumption of unhealthy food that can translate into diseases. Yeah, or we also need to check on the environment, where we need to reduce on the materials that we are using, those that are non-biodegradable, so that we don't harm the environment. We also talked about we need to reduce on our consumption for economic reasons, consumption of water, power, because it will translate to a lot of money that is being spent. So that is about that's environmental versus the financial part of it. Then we also talked about under financial, we talked about we need to budget every coin as in our homes, in our learning institutions, as administrators. Then we also talked about our time. We need to reduce the time that we are spending on socialization, especially where we are talking about negative things that are not edifying. And we spend time on things that are building one another, right, at home, at our institutions, and that will also translate to the students. Because if the teachers, as the education practitioners, have a plan on how to spend their time, they will also spill it over to the learners. Then there was also the aspect of spiritual connection with our source, that we need to reduce the distance between us and our maker. We need to move near to our creator. Awesome. Then lastly is about the political, where we talked about we need to minimize on political engagement. We'll only do it when there's a forum for which our opinion will count, where perhaps we have an audience to air our views. Otherwise, if we just talk in our workplaces, it does not add a lot of value. We only use a lot of energy doing something that is unproductive. Yeah. So thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Peter, you were in room 3 and I heard you speak.
Yes, we were in room 3. We at one point we thought maybe you are talking and it kept on interrupting us, but I don't know. Maybe next time when we go into groups, you will have to check on when you talk. Maybe is it interfering with the discussion in other groups? Right. In our small discussion, we talked about how we can reuse, especially when we get supplies from items, sugar, rice. The sacks can be reused maybe to do gardens where we can plant vegetables as well as fruits to be used in school. This is also we live in tins that can be used for those that are used for the painting and what have you. All those ones can be reused in school to do fruits and planting also vegetables. When we have visitors and maybe we have water bottles, these ones can also be reused later to do maybe gardening things like irrigation. Also timber when we are building or when we are doing activities in school, the leftovers, when those small pieces can still be collected and be used when we give students assignments. Also the cartons that we get deliveries with in our schools, we can, instead of buying a plastic dustbins which are costly, we can also use those cartons to as our dustbins. We also thought that the old exercise books, instead of banning them, they can be collected and maybe resold to do recycled materials. Thank you.
Thank you. There you went to recycle. Thank you so much. Madam Lucy. Madam Lucy?
Yes.
You were in room 4?
Yeah, we were doing recycle. And we talked of how we can recycle water, like dirty water from maybe kitchen and other areas can be channeled to treatment places where they can, made fresh again. Because that may need some, of course, machines and chemicals. It was a thought. And then also we were discussing how we can reuse used bottles. Like if we have several of them put together, they can be used for fencing. There was some school in Kenya that the children had actually fenced their school using bottles. It was impressive. Then we couldn't move so much because you kept on talking.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know what
Yes.
happened because there's a point where I broadcast. You were not supposed to hear me. Maybe there was just an error with Zoom. I will ask them.
Yes, there was.
Yeah, because I was at the plenary. You were not supposed to hear me because people in the plenary are supposed to be discussing also. Yeah. Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Room 5. Was it Sarah or Rooney?
Yes, we'll talk. Room 5, we're talking about repair. And you also encountered the same problem where we could hear you talk.
Yeah.
And for a long time, you were just passive. We were waiting for you to leave.
Awesome.
We discussed the following. One, we say that we should teach our students repair skills so that not that they should always take their items, maybe like uniform to the tailor to maybe mend a button or sew a torn part, but they should learn to do it by themselves. We also talked about repairing relationship because you find that there are so many ways in which relationships are broken in schools. And sometimes you find that there may be a conflict between a parent and a teacher or a parent and a student, but then you now come in to reconnect the two so that that relationship can be rebuilt once again, rather than just going on one side and saying that this is person who has a raw head or this should have been like this. So you try to bring them together by repairing the relationship. We also talked of repairing items in school or even at home. But then if you feel that you don't want to use the items, then repair, then donate or sell. And if you sell, the money can be used to do something else. So that we are talking about now the economic aspect of it. You repair, sell, buy something else, or use that money for other things. We also talk about repairing. You know, most of the time you find that people believe that water tanks, once they are broken, they cannot be repaired, but they are repairable. So once it is repaired, you'll always have that water harvesting so that at least we are able to not let the rainwater go into waste, but we'll be able to harvest the rainwater and use it for other purposes. I think others
Awesome.
time.
Yeah, kindly use the chat, add to the list. And finally, room 7, Dr. Nduku, Maritime. You are all in that room. Samuel Ocheng, who is going to speak now? Room 7, Dr. Nduku?
Maritime will speak. She was our chair.
Okay, Maritime. Maritime, please unmute.
Sorry. In room 7, we were looking at reconnect. And we looked at reconnect in the following way. One, to reconnect. The first one is reconnect with family. And the reconnecting with family, that is the general family and the immediate family. And we looked at through visits, that maybe when we are free, we make a visit to our families, or when we are free, we also sit and share things with our family members. We can also go on an outing, a family outing. Then we also looked at, then we said reconnect with community. That is a community, the larger community, that is by volunteering, by giving voluntary service, going back to former schools, that is one way of community, maybe former institutions with alumni to give back by supporting needy students or doing a fundraiser to fill in the gaps in terms of infrastructure. We also looked at connecting with former colleagues, former students of a specific school alumni, and then connecting with the downtrodden in the community. That is still under community downtrodden, that the needy, the SNE, the elderly, the sick, even going there to cleaning community, cleaning markets, doing market clearing, cooking for those who are in need, visiting children's homes or institutions that take care of the elderly. Then team building activities is also another way. Then we also looked at the connection with the nature, reconnect with nature by maybe walking around, bird watching, going out, going to parks. Yeah, and that is it.
Awesome, awesome. It was a lot. As you can see, there is a lot. There is a lot on the chart. There is a lot on the chart. And BR room 6, we could also rethink our habits on water, or power usage, internet, and anything we are for, because most of the times we just let the tap switch bundles on simply because we paid for it or can afford it, but it could benefit someone somewhere who is not as privileged. This is good. So it is good also to go to the chat and comment after what the others have said, and let us continue engaging even using the chat. I am going to repost the registration link for those people who joined us late. Let me see. Kindly register yourself. Kindly register yourself.
Maybe you can give us the link.
Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm just posting it again to everyone in the meeting. Yeah, just click on that link. That is a Google Sheet. Just pick a row and write your details. Yeah, so I just wanted to bring these success stories to you. Very first, I'll be going pop, 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 pop. I'll not take a lot of time there. These are students from, was this Machakos boys preparing a hanging garden. Can you see the video? Are you able to see the video?
Yes, we can see the video. Yes.
It's visible.
Yeah, I don't want to put the voice because it will take long. So they were preparing a hanging garden. These are the students from St. Thomas, Kilifi, demonstrating what they have done in their innovations. You can see the way they are using manila papers to talk about the values that were there and what have you. And yeah, this is learning in the garden. You can see a student demonstrating to the others and the way the others are very keen. Learners as teachers. It is the learners to speak, not the teachers at this time. It's the learners to teach the other learners, or the learners to explain what they have done. Experiential learning, where you take the students out and learn from the field. Let the students ask questions. We have this that I expect to be in every school, the talking path. Very, very important. Let us put whatever virtues we want our students to embrace on talking walls or talking paths like this. The number of times a child passes there, they keep reading, it will get to their minds, and then essentially it will get to their hearts, and they will start implementing it. Then there is vermicomposting. Using vermicomposting has to do with worms, using worms for organic farming. And then this is Our Lady of Victory in Kapnyeberai. This is a model center preparing a tea nursery. They were preparing a tea nursery. A compost manure. These ones were preparing compost manure. Sorry, I don't have names for all the learning institutions. These ones were preparing stands and sisal ropes. They were using stands and sisal ropes to make seats. This is waste sisal ropes was reused to make seats and baskets. Other projects in that school, preparation of vegetable nurseries using waste buckets, reuse of carrier bags to make baskets, use of waste papers to make charcoal, reuse of car tires to make livestock feeding troughs, potato farming, of course, using organic manure. Yeah, you can see these ones, they were making briquettes. They were making briquettes. These ones were, it's the same school. The principal there, Sister Mary, was it Mary Sanan? She told me that they use the harvest to feed the students, like for several meals before they are done. I like this. I wish you could listen to this video. This student during COVID time decided to do this.
To all the ESD members, during this period at least, do something.
Yeah, he was encouraging others to do something. You can see the number of chicks that his hen was having. You can see boys very busy, Machakos boys very busy making baskets using beads. They could even showcase what they had done. They could share their success with the guests who had come during the awards day at Kemi. And so we are saying, don't let the fear of what could happen make nothing happen. Just start doing something and you'll be able to see the results. You can see boys in the garden. I don't know if they were planting or harvesting yam. This is Machakos boys. And the beauty about Machakos boys now, they have a very big team. And these jerseys that they are having have got labels on them. You can see there is Reconnect, there is Reduce, there is Recycle, Reduce, Repair. Yeah, and they are very proud of what they are doing. So you can also borrow a list and encourage your students to be active in making use of the 7 R's. Okay. And then we have the Peace Garden. Education for Sustainable Development also promotes peace, because you cannot do all this without peace. So make sure at least in your learning institution or even in your home, you have a peace corner or a peace garden. This one was talking about an innovation that they had.
That poultry and fish offer white meat, which has low cholesterol compared now to the red meat. So people nowadays are moving to the white meat. This is only to provide more production for such. So we also modified the structure such that we have now these panels. These are solar panels, whereby now they will be able to tap the sunlight, provide electricity that will be used now to pump the water into the farm, and it will also provide lighting into the house. So in the middle here, we can as well customize it and use it as a house for an individual. If you want, we can customize it for you to stay there, and if you want the fish pond, we can as well use it. But if you want only the house and the farm, it can also.
So basically, we're just trying to, Kenya currently the way it is, we just need innovative ideas. So this one is making use of this vertical space. You have a lot of space which is just not in use. So you can just make good use of it. And what we are aiming at when we are taking this project for the competitions, we're aiming to get funders and people who can buy our idea and also help us to also come up with a good system.
Okay, so innovative ideas like that, you go to Hospital Hill in Nairobi, you will see children with chicken, and many of them having a vegetable flower bed. Instead of having flowers, you can have vegetables, and that is very beautiful. That is Hospital Hill. The Watchman's Shed, the children made this Watchman's Shed using waste bottles. This is which school doing crocheting? Yeah, this is handwork. They were doing crocheting. This still Hospital Hill about repairing, the children repairing their desks by themselves, having hanging gardens, a bioplant at Iku Boys High School in Tharaka-Nithi County. They have a very big bioplant. I want to encourage those of you who can visit that school to go and see what is happening there. Management of human waste and livestock waste to get energy. Yeah, they use it in the kitchen, you can see. They also use it for lighting. And then we have the same school with fish farming project, integrated fish and poultry, tilapia. Here there is chicken, which the droppings of chicken go to the fish pond, and so the fish can eat the droppings from the chicken. Yeah, here the biology teacher, a very passionate teacher, was using sandals to make learning slippers, softwood, manila paper, nails, etc., to make structures that she can use to teach internal structures, for example, of a leaf in a biology lesson. So they did that with the students, and she was trying to showcase that. Reuse of waste, still the Iku Boys in Tharaka-Nithi, recycling waste, banana plantation, a pig's tree. You can see Nakuru Boys with agroforestry. That is Nakuru Boys High School. You can look at their parade. It is beautifully done. We encourage them to improve that. Instead of just having the shrubs, they could integrate that with some mint, herbal, whatever, plants, and so on and so forth. I hope they did that. They also have zero farming grazing units, and we encourage them to have the students go milking, because that is what is encouraged in ESD. They have a very big vegetable garden. They have a hay for daily cattle. If you go to Kisumu, oh my, you must visit Lion Secondary School. You will be amazed by what Madam Yudia and team are doing. This is just very few things that I am showing, but if you go there, you will see a lot. That students themselves, they do the fishing, they go to the kitchen, they bisect the fish, they learn biology in the kitchen, and they even assist in the cooking. Using their talents, reusing waste to make creative arts. Tambachi High School, in Elgeyo Marakwet, you can see the students very busy using their hands in the farm, and they are able to produce what they are producing and sell and use. You can see the way the students are very passionate in the farm. Yeah, this is Garissa. This one was from Garissa High School. No, Garsen High School in Tana River. That is a dry place. So they are using bags like these ones to make to have tree seedlings so that they can plant. And there's a very nice project there, which they are calling Goats for Fees project, because parents cannot afford fees, but they can afford goats. So they bring goats to school instead of money. That is ESD. Yeah. Then we have Visa Oshol. Visa Oshol is very active. You need to visit that school in Nairobi. The students are so passionate about beading, and they are doing quite a lot. Molding using waste, weaving and crocheting. Yeah. You go to, there is urban gardening. This was which school? I cannot remember. But one of the schools among the model centers, you can have raised gardens. There is dairy farming in Cardinal Otunga High School, Kisii. Banana plantations, agroforestry in that school. There is a pigistry. Those are projects that students can easily do. Then in Mwani Girls is in Makueni. You can see the students busy in the farm. It is the students doing the work. Remember in ESD, we talk about the students doing, not the workers. It is the students to do using their own hands. Allow them to touch the soil, because there are benefits in using their hands to touch the soil. And then the prosumer concept is about produce what you can consume. Yeah, what you produce, consume it. Don't produce for others. Produce what you can consume. If you go to St. Thomas Kilifi, oh my God, you will be amazed, because there is quite a lot. And the students in St. Thomas Kilifi have participated in both national and international forums to showcase their innovations. Yeah, you can see during the time of President Uhuru was able to visit their stand, and the CS of education then, demonstrating innovation. This is very, very, very amazing what the students can do. They even came up with, was it a bomb detector? Yeah, a bomb detector. So students can become very innovative. And this is this still Kilifi? Yes, I think so. Oh, this is
Actually, the slides are not showing.
the slides are not showing. Let me share again. Are you seeing them now?
Yes, you can see.
Yeah, they are now coming.
You
Yes,
mean
they
you
are
are
clear.
not seeing? You are not seeing all these good things that I was showing you?
No, no, it is
Yeah,
terminated that I'm
yeah.
now.
We stopped
I was
at this
saying.
junction.
Okay, let me
I
just
was
go
saying.
ahead, because you will look at them again when I send the recording to you. So take time and just look at what the students are doing by themselves, okay? So the prosumer concept, I said it is about produce what you can consume. This one I got from the Israelites. Don't just produce for others. If you are producing plastic eggs, produce them and eat them first before you sell them. That is what it means. If you are producing arrogant students, can you appreciate them yourself?
Really?
Yeah. If you go to St. Mary's Nakuru Girls Primary School, you will also be amazed at what those children are able to do. Yeah. You can see they are busy working. It is the children doing it, and they are happy. Sometimes we don't allow our children to explore. Just look at the way these kids are happy. Using their hands, they are beading, they are planting things. If you go to, this is Kwale High School, they made their own greenhouse. Yeah, they made their own. The students made their own greenhouse, and they were able to plant tomatoes in it, and they have a produce. They went greening the community. You can see this is outside the school. It's not inside the school. As you can see, there is a road and people are walking along that. So students can volunteer to go and green the community, and not just in their school, their own schools. If you go to Uasin-Gishu, you will meet RCE Biwot Ngelel. They have a water harvesting project, yeah, where they are harvesting water for them to use, to recycle and make use of. And then they have talking walls and notices, flower seedlings. They have Socrates Center where thinking is a priority. So they have a center that is like a peace center or a peace garden. And then they have talking paths, forests for wood, fuel, and timber conservation. You go to St. Mary's Girls in Narok. Oh my God, I visited that school. There is something I didn't pick here. I should have done that. If you go to St. Mary's Girls in Narok, at the gate, they've written, this is a peace zone, meaning when you get inside, it's all about peace. You will find all this, yeah? If you go to Nyeri Complex Primary School, you will marvel at what those children are able to do. Taking the children out for recreation activities, that is encouraged in ESD. And as they are playing, let them collaborate and not compete. Yeah, let them enjoy the game. These students in Nyeri were able to win, become champions, and get a lot of money because of what they were doing using their talents. This child decided to make a guitar using waste in creative arts. They have a biodigester. If you go to Karura Forest Primary School, they have energy-saving vehicles. They have a herbal garden under a tree of wisdom. You go to Rudagati Secondary School in Nyeri. This was just the initial stage. I had just gone there to introduce ESD. Here we were learning and the students came up with that. Oh my God, time is down. If you go to Mombasa, Adina Visram in Mombasa, there is a lot those students in a white uniform are doing. You go to Talai Secondary School in Baringo, equally, they have a lot that they are doing. You go to, where else? So many institutions in Kenya are doing quite a lot, but basically because of maybe the way ESD was introduced, you can see most of them are in the garden. But we are encouraging promotion of culture, artwork, you know, very, very important. This beautiful lady here, we were with her in Israel, and she told me to go and see what she is doing. So she's able to, she has introduced ESD in her school in a very unique way, where the children used to go back to school during holidays to learn and do a lot of stuff in ESD. You can see the things the children are doing under Sylvia's leadership, yeah? She has even introduced a learning toolkit and CBC integration. She is helping the children to learn how to use the laptops and so on and so forth. If you go to Kiptilit Primary School in Baringo, where Madam Leah Rotich introduced ESD, we were also with Madam Leah in Israel. The children are now able to go to the garden and make a difference. So what I'm simply telling you is that you too can either adopt a school or a learning institution, or you can have this in your own learning institution and have the students doing things. Yeah, this is Kiambu Boys High School, where Kemi went supporting them to green. The beauty about Kiambu, what
Hello,
they did.
Daktari.
Yes.
Hello, Daktari.
Hello.
I know what you are doing is very interesting. And maybe we are going overboard because it's now 9:30.
Yes.
And being a Sunday, I know teachers would want to prepare.
Thank you, Janet.
Request that yes.
Thank you, Janet. I'm just finishing.
And then there are some members who are unable to register. I don't know how you will help them.
Okay.
Technology is new to most of us.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, if you're not able to register, please just hit my inbox. So what I just wanted to show you is that ESD is running and students, schools are doing quite a lot. This is a success story in Kenya. And if we picked this and ran with it as a country, it is a story that we are telling the world, that Kenya has embraced education for sustainable development. We are talking about schools from all over the country. As you can see, I have presented schools from all parts of the country. This is Garissa High School. It doesn't matter where the school is. Those that have picked up ESD, they went and they are doing something. That is Chepsaita Secondary School in Uasin Gishu. And they have bees. That is Nasokol Girls in West Pokot. All that is happening in Kenya. So if you've seen all this, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing yourself? What can you do to make a difference? Kirimari Boys went to help children homes from their project. They planted vegetables and went visiting a children's home, and they are reconnecting with the community. Makemba Academy in Kwale, this is a private school. They've embraced ESD and they are doing quite a lot. So if at all we have to talk about successful initiatives in Kenya, they are a lot, and we cannot finish them in one setting. In Kakamega, we have Kivayo Boys High School, where a student made this using his hands, and he presented it to KTN News, and he was given a big prize. So here he was actually explaining the artwork, what he did.
That mat nilitengeneza ya KTN inajiita profile mat, na there are other types of mat kama hizo. Kuna plain mat pia, kuna coated round mat, kuna mixed mat, kuna flag mat, kuna pia object mat.
Okay, you can see the t-shirt. The t-shirt is ESD Club. So they have an ESD Club. What I'm simply showing you, I'm simply telling you that even in special schools, ESD is there running. This is a special school in Kitui, and the students are doing a lot. So if you are near a school and you are retired, can you adapt a school and work with them, help them to do something that will make a difference? Yeah, this is Tigoi Girls. A lot. I want to come to the end. It's not coming. Reuse of plastics. Janet, forgive me. I had alerted the team that it is a lot and we might go overboard, but I'm coming to the end. I didn't want to break this lesson into two. So as we finish, we are talking about ripple effects of our actions. These successful ESD initiatives have not only made a significant impact locally, but have also contributed to global sustainability efforts. The tangible outcomes and benefits experienced by communities at the local level due to the implementation of ESD initiatives includes improved environmental conditions, community engagements, and enhanced educational experiences. Global impact: these initiatives have contributed to broader sustainability goals and initiatives on a global scale through knowledge sharing, replication of best practices, and advocacy for policy change. And so I may not be where I need to be, but thank God I'm not where I used to be. As long as you're breathing, everything is possible. Never quit trying. Make the rest of your life the best of your life. As we conclude lesson 5, let's reflect on the transformative power of education for sustainable development. These inspiring initiatives remind us of the importance of embedding sustainability principles into education and the profound impact it can have on individuals, communities, and the planet. And so let's continue to learn from these examples and work towards a more sustainable future together. And my friends, the future is ours to shape. The future is ours to shape. And so please act now. Be who you were created to be, and you will set the world on fire. God bless you. Lil, learn, inspire, and lead. And that brings us to the end of our 5th lesson in education for sustainable development. Thank you very much for being patient to this end and giving time to give you everything that I had. If you're latter.
Kindly, you will guide us on how to register the Google. What Nini did not open, was not allowing us to end it.
The Google Sheet.
Yes.
I enabled it. Okay, so what
we
we
were
are
not
going
able to input our details.
Okay, so hit my inbox, WhatsApp inbox. I will be able to share it with you to your WhatsApp so that you can take your time to fill in your details.
That's well.
Okay, now that you have spoken, can you give one insight? We have a pastor praying, then we go and sleep. Forgive me for being too generous with information.
So we are grateful for this, Madam Daktari, and I'm happy I enjoyed because I saw the link and I was almost getting late and I was saying, oh, I'm running late, I will not join, but thank God I joined. Now I will be very punctual next time.
Thank you.
This is really impacting on us, and it is really reminding us on what the small ways we can contribute in the society.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam.
Yeah, Janet intervened. I know Janet, she works with the Teacher Service Commission, and that is why she was so concerned about teachers. Thank you. Who can pray for us?
I saw them complaining. Doctor, they were complaining.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you for being so caring.
Thank you.
Thank you, Janet. We were with Janet in Israel. And so she's so passionate about ESD. Thank you, Janet, for coming on board. Can you say hi to the team?
Hi, colleagues. Hi, actually, I'm very excited to see members of my group really on board. Actually, we were quite a number, and some of them are here on board. And you know, the best thing to succeed is to implement what you have. Otherwise, if you don't do it, then you are selfish. You are selfish. Let us not be selfish, and let us do actually what is in our heads, what is in our hearts. Let us, that God will bless the work of our hands. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you, Janet. Who can pray for us?
I want to
Yes,
pray.
I can pray.
Okay, Janet, you want to pray or Madam Lucy?
Okay,
Let me
Lucy,
do
pray.
this for Janet. Okay, let us all pray.
Okay.
Before I pray, I'd also like to thank the Daktari. So good. And in fact, it connects with what I'm doing with my girls at Nyabisawa Girls. You work with the Giraffe Center.
Awesome.
Center, you know, this ESD thing. Like every year in March, there is always a competition about education for sustainable.
Awesome. Thank
So
you.
you've given me more ideas, more insights. Let's pray. Jehovah God, we give you thanks and glory for this glorious time. We want to thank you for the life of Daktari, wherever he is. Continue to inspire her. Continue to give us strength, more wisdom, Lord, and the heart of sharing. As that we are here, God, I pray for everyone, Jehovah. Let us go out there and change the world. And all this knowledge that we have learned, God, we put you first and we know, God, we shall succeed. In Jesus' name I pray and believe. Amen.
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 Good night.
Amen. And blessed night.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Good
Amen.
night.
Thank you. Amen.
Amen. Amen and amen.
Thank you.
Week.